Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. So glad to be hosting another show. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media universe. And we've got a great show for you today as well. What's going to happen with the markets today? BTC's tanking it a little bit, showing a little weakness. Is XRP and XLM going to keep up, or are they going to follow the market on the downward trend even further than they've already dropped a little bit? But as usual, my co-host Pedro Garcia is in the house. Pedro, what is happening? Oh, you're on mute.
Hey guys, how you doing today? Hey, I hope everybody's doing well today in this glorious sell-off where we get to pick up more of our favorite coins. It's real interesting that the institutions know that they have Sailor to basically sell off to. It's not a good thing that he always.
That's what they're doing with Sailor right now. They're beating him on the butt.
Yes, because they know as soon as it starts to top off and sell, because he needs Bitcoin to go up. And it's actually really sad because we've talked about this earlier, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that he keeps buying at the top, trying to like buy at the very top instead of coming back and wait for a pullback. And sooner or later, he's going to become top heavy, where like, the reason why I say this is what happened in 2008 with mortgage-backed securities and the derivatives that were on the side of it that were created so that they can exponentialize their gains. So I don't think that is the correct word, but basically
make a shit ton of money is the right phrase, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Hoping they would keep going up. And then there was these side bets that were actually created so that they could do that. And what's scary is that he's literally like, he created his own ability for a side bet. And I don't think he's gonna be able to last the weather. I don't think he's going to be able to, because they can keep shorting MicroStrategy. They can keep pushing that down a lot easier than the Bitcoin. And every time you see Bitcoin go down, MicroStrategy goes down even further. So from a percentage level, and they'll keep. I've seen in the past, in 2005 and 6, there were billionaires, okay, which back then was actually, I would consider that was real billionaires. And the institutions wanted positions in stocks, and this guy wasn't willing to give up his position. So they drained this man down to like I was thinking it was like 40 million, $50 million of all of his stuff. They dropped it down to where he was worth only a couple hundred or tens of millions of dollars, so that they can have that specific position in this stock. This is what they do. They do not care. Like, and they'll get their positions. This is what we were talking about here. And so he has so much Bitcoin. He's like the top. Isn't he the top one now?
I don't think he's the top one, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, 423,000 or something now, or something like that. Mm-hmm. Here's that notification. I clicked off of it.
They will just keep draining him until he can't handle it. So I'm hoping that he stops topping off and he just plays this smart. Like,
well, I'd like to see what his debt to equity ratio is with his Bitcoin holdings. We know he's taken on corporate bonds. I think his own holdings he probably doesn't owe anything on because he sold company stock to buy it. Unless he has repurchase agreements or something going back and forth with the company. But it'd be really interesting to see. I wonder if that's in his paper, in the MicroStrategy Edgar filings at all. How much they've borrowed. Because if they owe $5 billion and the stuff's worth $40 billion right now, well, who cares? The infinite money machine just keeps going. Oh, but if the price of Bitcoin tanks, then the infinite money machine stops. So, Pedro, what is going on with the Bitcoin?
The Bitcoin. Well, it's doing what it's doing. It was really interesting. So I think it was Friday or Thursday, right? It was where it sold off, right? We went long 4 hour here on Friday. I think it was right here. So on the 5 minute, we talked about going long. And let's pull this up because I just want to, was it Friday or Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday right here. So this was a little area that we went long. It was hitting the 4 hour, 8 period moving average, or excuse me, 4 hour period moving average. So we talked about, I said, wait for it to get down to here, put our stop right here, and then push it all the way up, right? And I expected it to go up to here. Now, prior to that, I said we should be going short, but because I didn't want to confuse people, right? I said, let's go long because the market is moving up. I should have went with my gut and said, listen, I know that we probably should go long, but we're going to go short because the market is moving down for the day. And as a day trade, we want to go with the trend of the day, which is down. And if we would have done that, which we talked about going short around the 50-period moving average, right? I'm so mad. Now,
so mad.
We should have, bro. Like, I just look at that. I'm like, oh, we probably would have been stopped down because I'm looking at it here. It shot up, right? It goes up, comes back down, shoots up. And then so it takes all these stops, which is sitting right here. And I'll point out, these are where the stops are sitting. Right, this is right. So you can see all these guys have orders right here. Like these are orders and the stops right up in this level. And this peaks up right above that liquidity area because that's where the consolidation is happening. Takes all these stops and then just crashes. Boop. This right here was something of note because it should most likely have gone up. So I thought this looks like a little manipulation actually happening with the institution.
Oh no.
Never do that, right? Never. It's so.
Well, I sent you this screenshot yesterday, right?
Yeah,
here.
you did.
These two lines.
Yeah.
There was a flash crash here, and okay, all right. The exchanges are cleaning out the longs.
Yeah.
And then it happened again 2 minutes later. I mean, all these guys at the exchanges must be on like a Telegram group and like, all right, we need to make some money and go up, but we need to clear these other guys out first so they don't make any money. And they do it twice within an hour.
No, but the thing is, it's not how it works. They don't sit there and the way I know we want to sit there and go, oh, it's this big conspiracy of them trying to hurt us, but it's
massive
not.
Conspiracy.
It's not. It's just the way trading is. They need orders. And so if they're looking, this is really important to understand. If they need orders for the market to go down, they need sell orders. Okay. They need buy orders. Okay. So there's everybody that is short right here. And I think what's important to pay attention to is if you're looking at the market and you're thinking, okay, we're most likely going to go up. You want to sit there and look at that trade and go, okay, where is it that the most of the orders are sitting for the stop or the liquidity check? Okay. Yeah. And so what you want to do, and this is where we were looking to go, this right here when we went long, right? Which was, where was it?
I can't remember where it was on that chart.
Was it right here where we went up? It was Monday. No, that was. Sorry, guys. What's going on here? What's this? Power plan?
Power up your plan.
I refuse to do this, dude. These guys, just makes.
Hey, Kaching's in the house. I missed you there, Kaching. Thanks for joining us, Derek from Minnesota. Thank you very much.
Don't let you go back that far anymore. Piece of.
Thankfully, Lucifer's in the house to bring the wrath of hell upon the crypto markets. Thank you, Lucifer.
All right, this is it right here. So this is important to understand. So when we were going long, right, which was right here around this Monday. No, it wasn't Monday. It was. I'm sorry, guys. I want to make sure we understand what's happening.
Why didn't this remember?
Was it right here? It's Monday. December sell off. Oh, sorry, it's right here. There we go. Right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Crypto Mike in the house all the way from Manitoba, Kanukistan. Thanks for joining us. Crypto Mike.
What's up, Mike? Good
Mike, how was the drive into the city yesterday? All good? Made it back out into the sticks just fine? Ladies and gentlemen, Cleob in the house. Cleob, a picture of a sloth? No, not a sloth. I don't know what the hell that animal is.
Right.
Anyway, thanks, Cleo, for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you'd love to tell us how you found us, we always appreciate that. We're an interactive show, so ask questions. It's Technical Tuesday, so we're going over charts today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually have had a few people reaching out to me. One person who's an actual guy, but he's pretending to be a woman on, because you can follow people, right? So they post their stuff. And then, anyways, the reason I'm bringing this up.
Same here, Mike.
All right. So here we go. Let me finish this up here real quick so we can check this out. Okay. So in this process right here, like I said, we're in a racetrack down. There's no real demand wicks down at these levels here. So it should come back down. And I brought this up. I said, we have these couple areas right here where there's buyers. And it's most likely sooner or later going to come and get these buyers, because as the market is going up, if the market is moving up, they are running out of sellers. Okay, because when you buy, you need to sell. Now, granted, in the market, we have automatic market makers. But who has to take the other side to that? The entity that is trading that. So they're losing money as the market is moving up, because they have to take the sell side. And additionally to that, institutions are also getting into the market. So as the market is going up, they're fighting with automatic makers as well as people who are also like institutions trying to get in on. So there's this fight to buy because there's not enough sellers. So the automatic makers, to make money, right, because they're taking the other side, have to drop the market. Okay, so that they can get out and either break even or make a little money in the market. And additionally to that, you also have institutions who want to get in, and they need to create sellers. So they come in and they put a bunch of sell orders to drop the market where there are a lot of buyers in a market. Because if there's buyers, they have short positions. If there are sellers, there are long positions that protect them. So they will take a liquidity push up or down to get those orders, then to turn the market on a short-term down frame to go in an area where they have a ton of sellers at. So what do you mean by sellers? Well, right here is a liquidity pool, meaning people are long here and they have their shorts here, their stops. People are short here, they have their longs. Okay. And so when it comes down to these levels, what happens is it hit these levels and they trigger the other side so that the institution or automatic market makers can then offload their position and either start over, or for institutional level or for institutions, they have to go through and they have to then buy up all of the stop orders that they initiated. Does that make sense?
Mostly, yeah. I mean, it has to, you have to buy through the liquidity. You have to buy through where the orders are. You have to sell through them. If the other players aren't there, the market's not moving there.
Exactly. Or it will move there, right? Like it will shoot through the area where there's not a lot of people to the area where there are a lot of buyers or a lot of sellers sitting at, so that they can take the other end. And that's how the market moves. It does this and looks for liquidity, right? And if they know Michael Saylor is giving them liquidity, and he said he's going to give them liquidity, then they're going to keep dumping on them. They do not care if they crash a market, because that only allows them to be able to buy in on that market at a lower level, right? Like I said many a times, between 100,000 to 10,000 $2,000, $1,000 is where they want to buy our good old friend BTC, Mr. Beast over here. Okay, because they think long term, 20, 30 years from now, where it's sitting at $1 million plus a Bitcoin. So that's how they're seeing it. All right, let's go to move a little bit further here as well. Now, as this market is coming down, we saw that it cleared out all these stops. The next spot that we're going to be seeing here, it should be right here. We should see it come down to that 88,000 to that 87,000 area here. Potentially, we could come down to this 50-period moving average here, which is that 85,000. Now, this is important to understand. We come down to here. There is nothing else besides moving average for us to come down.
What price level is this next one after 88?
Okay, it's going to be 75,000 to 74,000 right here. And potentially, again, coming back and tap into that 67,000 to our 67 or 68,000-ish to 67,000. So we've got a few targets here that we could play off of where they're looking to potentially push this market down. If they have satisfied their orders, meaning speaking of institutional buyers, then they will then continue the market from whatever level from here, then up. Because again, they're putting in their clients at low levels so that they can push the market up. And so this calls for paying attention to whatever trending mechanism you use, whether that is Bollinger Bands and you use the middle line as a trend up, whether that's VWAP or whatever WAP, it is important that you set up specific rules for your entry.
VFAP.
VFAP. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Fap.
I got you.
What's that? Oh, that's my time-weighted fapping average. Only 3 minutes today.
Bro, you're killing me. I love it. I love this man. This man is all right. Okay, so whatever trending mechanism you use, this is what I want you guys to be paying attention to. And also, strict rule sets need to happen here. You need to create real rules where, and here's the thing, I want you guys to learn how to look at this market. Say, if from this moment on, I have an hypothesis at this price point, if it holds, then write that down what your theory was and start to follow that. And once it doesn't work, then sit there and analyze it again. Okay, and most likely, majority of the time, the new beginners of traders you're going to get stopped out. Okay, it's okay. It's a part of your learning. You need that quick cycle of trading to realize, okay, I was wrong here. Why? I was wrong here. Why? And in doing that, that builds resistance in your mind, and the frustration creates neurons in your brain to figure it out. And so it's important that you guys are doing this if you're looking to trade this. And so you guys know I use the 8-period moving average on when when it's trending, right? And I find out which one is moving on it. Now, again, many of you guys are going to use Bollinger Bands or many of the other trending mechanisms. You want to sit there and say, also for me, wicks are really important. I look at wicks, seller wicks, buyer wicks. You can see buyer wicks push this up. Lack of seller wicks as we're coming down, which meant it was most likely going to come up. But as we're then moving up right here, you can see, right, no real buyer wicks until we get up to the very top here. And then the top, and we start to see seller wicks as it comes down to push up to come down, right? Because in a bull market, they will most likely push it down to go up to come down. You're looking for a 3-part move in an uptrend. In a downtrend, bear market, you will be looking for it to go down, or excuse me, up, then down, then up, or down, then up. Up and down, because it's weird. But I know it sounds weird, but you're looking to gauge. They need the opposite end of that market to come in, so they can push the market in the correct direction that it wants to push. And so we're looking at this daily trend here, and we're realizing it's coming down here. As we're coming down into these lower levels, you want to be paying attention. How are they taking on the other end? Are they eating it up quick, or is it consolidating? And as the consolidation happens, you want to sit there and you want to play that, you know? So
Let's play it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play it right into our first commercial break of the day here. Stand by with us. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for putting up with that. Got to make the algorithm happy. Got to make the great Google happy. Got to make all the platforms happy by earning them monies. So thank you very much. Quickly, before we get into a little quick talk about the news, Cleob, thanks for joining us. Cleob says he or she or whomever is coming to us from Canada. I am in Canada right now. I'm in Ottawa, Ontario. Crypto Mike is from somewhere outside Winnipeg. And we do have a bunch of Kanuka standees, as I like to call them here. I am an American, but I happen to live half my time here with, as I say, Mrs. Striking here in Ottawa. And that's where we're broadcasting today from. So thank you for joining us, Cleo. Pedro, you got a news article you want to talk about?
yeah, it'd be great. So I thought it was really interesting that we see
We're looking at your charts, not your news articles.
I'm just going to talk. Oh. I just think this is really interesting that President Trump's son, Eric Trump, basically talks about crypto being really the future of Bitcoin, or the future of the banking system, because the banking system is slow and antiquated. And I just thought it was really interesting that he went on basically Bloomberg talking about this. And that's all right, not on it, but he was interviewed and they brought this up. And I just thought it was really interesting. Now, Bloomberg is very much adopting and starting to look at Bitcoin. They're looking at cryptocurrency, and they're actually giving like real data, understanding blockchain hash rates. And I've been really impressed with listening to them. I'm like, wow, they're really adopting this and starting to pay attention to it. So I watch them a lot simply because there are certain things that they talk about. When they talk about the old guard sits there and wants to put money in, and that's where the real money is at, right? Is in the old guard. And so when it goes on either Bloomberg, sometimes it sells off, much like we see with Jim Cramer. It'll go up a little, then sell off. So there's that old tactics that they're still using. But then other times they do bring on like some small little, micro coins that are building some stuff, and all of a sudden their stuff just skyrockets. So obviously, that's the ones that they're looking to invest in, and and then so it's still the same game, but it's one of those things that they're using, right? And they're now talking the talk of crypto. They're talking blockchain information and technology. And as that technology starts to pick, and obviously when I say microcoins, I mean 100 million, 100 million, $200 million market caps that are creating real change or doing things.
So not exactly so micro.
Yeah. So I would say maybe a mid cap, you know, and then when we think about it, like from a stock standpoint, a blue chip is $10 billion or up when it comes to market cap. A mid cap or a large cap is $10 million plus market cap in stock world. Well, Bitcoin is in the trillions of mark, and that's a blue chip compared to, like, let's say Tesla, which we talked about yesterday, or Meta / Facebook stock, which is in upwards of trillions of dollars. These are blue chip of blue chip stocks. Well, when you take that same metric and you look at Bitcoin, or excuse me, you look at crypto allows you, we can see that if we apply that same thought process, you can sit there and see that we have a lot of blue chips in the market, and we have a lot of mid caps, large caps, mid caps, and small caps. So when they start talking about these certain things, they're really mentioning small caps and mid caps. So a lot of our traditional finance guys that are looking at the market and trying to marry the two, that's a good way of marrying it, right? It's not going to fit perfectly. It's almost like your left hand and right hand trying to come together, right? But there is a way for them to kind of link up. And so they're separate, but they're different, right? And excuse me, they're different, but they're the same, right? And how you kind of look at them. So it's just almost the next evolution, and that's almost what honestly Trump, or Eric Trump, was talking about, is that the future is crypto, because it's a very open system, and that open system allows for quick innovation and quick technology to really be implemented and seen if it can really work or not. And that, to me, is the essence of a real technology. So and an innovative system. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. So that was it. Do you have one, my friend?
Yeah, I do. But quickly, Steve Rodriguez in the house. Thanks for joining us, Steve, from Too Legit to Quit. I'm interested in catching up with you guys. I haven't been able to pay attention to your roadmap to launch here. Looking forward to it. I listened to you the other day, give a good description of everything that's going on, but still want to learn more. Carmen Crypto in the house says, good morning, Chumbalones. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Carmen, as always. Sup, legit Steve. The MC Hammer song can never leave my mind. Anyway, Pedro, on the Michael Saylor talk, as we continually talk about him because he's such a powerful influence in this industry, he just came right out and said, stop buying gold. It's ridiculous to buy gold. You should buy Bitcoin instead. And I believe that from a kind of a younger theoretical viewpoint, like, Bitcoin's better. But the lessons I've learned over time have been for diversification of your portfolio. And if you're investing billions and billions and billions of dollars in something, I think it's wise to have more than one. More than one holding. Have 50% of your holding in Bitcoin, have 50%, or another 25% in gold, another 25% in, corporate bonds or something, or government bonds or something like that. I realize Mike's betting it big, and I wonder what he's, ultimately I wonder what he's trying to get to. He's got $41 billion now. He could easily have $200 billion. He could have $1 trillion. Without doing any more work at all. He can just sit back and just go sit on the beach in Ibiza and do his thing. And he could have $1 trillion.
Absolutely.
Could he ever sell it for that? Who knows, but that's not the point. He's trying to win this game, of the Bitcoin game, and he's hopelessly addicted to it, to the point where he's telling us to do kind of dangerous things. He's kind of doing dangerous things by telling people not to diversify their assets. And I got to tell you, our market in the U.S. is stable because most people believe in diversification. And thus they put money in many different aspects of it. Everyone just doesn't FOMO like meme coins into one, and then FOMO to the other one, and then FOMO to the other one. In the broader market, people diversify. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing because it promotes a healthier risk profile for you, but it also promotes a healthier market because that means there's a lot more depth in many different types of markets, in liquidity in bonds, liquidity in stocks, liquidity in derivatives, liquidity in that. If everyone FOMOs into one and drives Bitcoin to $50 billion a coin, then the other markets suffer, are not as strong, and there's a high risk to everybody and to the economy in general that if for some reason Bitcoin fails or Satoshi pops out of nowhere and dumps his bag, that the value of everything crashes without there being suitable alternatives. So I agree with what Michael Saylor's doing generally, but telling people to not properly diversify is not one of them. That is my opinion on that.
I think
Steve says, sorry about that. He's deploying today. Maybe we should cover a little bit of that today. Go ahead, Pedro. Sorry.
No, let's go ahead and go over that. Reach out to him and we can go over some of his stuff because we definitely love what he's doing over there at Legit DAO and the decentralized AI system. And I hope you connect with Larry over at Hash AI.
Meta.
Yeah, over at Meta Trust. He's got a lot of stuff going on, and I think most people don't realize that Fetch AI was a coming together of like 3 or 4 projects that all said we're all kind of doing the same thing, but we all have a better, like one was better at this, one was, and so they came together and they created Fetch AI, and it exploded. And so I think that's probably going to be something that's going to happen here with a lot of the small decentralized systems, right? I mean, and most people don't even realize that China has an open decentralized AI system as well that is being used to develop and to create dApps and other uses in crypto as well as just AI tools. So I think for us on the West to really kind of come together and do something similar, they can almost move at a quicker pace than a lot of these centralized AI systems as well. But that's for another day, another topic. I think it's really important to kind of discuss that kind of in the future here. So I don't know. I'm hoping a lot of the AI decentralized systems come together and create like a super PAC or not a super PAC, but another entity that could just
a super AI Skynet.
Well, not necessarily Skynet because
Sarah Connor. And you had to go there with that.
Yeah, we did. We got it. Actually, good point. So it's just real interesting.
Pedro, one of the stories that I wanted to get to yesterday, but I didn't. I'm just going to go over it quickly. Is one of the guys in our space that's always rooting for the small guy and taking big people down, or big scammers down, is CoffeeZilla.
Yeah.
CoffeeZilla has done a good job creating, doing investigations and reporting on them about scams in the crypto area. From the beginning, he was just reporting on rug pulls like I was doing with Rug, Ruined, and Wrecked. And then he went on to bigger investigations, got lots of money from product placements, and could have a real production. Everyone loved it. He does a great job.
Yeah.
However, he got himself in a little trouble recently with the Hawk Tuah girl thing. When that was collapsing, as they say, he came onto her spaces and started raising hell about things. And in going back and looking at it, he started that process before it had fully tanked. And so by him coming on and accusing them of kind of malfeasance, he in essence caused everyone to say, "Oh God, it's a scam," and sell the rest of their bags out, bringing the price down to
you got me
launch price or less. And he raised hell on that spaces so much where whatever her name is, the Hawk Tuah girl, just said, "That's it, I'm done for the night. Forget this." And he's like, and everyone was like, "Oh, she stole $50 million and all that kind of stuff." All of a sudden, there's some new articles out in which CoffeeZilla is defending her. And he's saying, "Oh, she didn't get that much money." Oh, and he totally backtracked. And I saw this. I was like, "Wait a minute, this doesn't match up." He came out and just said, "Wait a minute," and he put out this public post saying, "She didn't rug for $500 million or $50 million." Blah blah blah. He went back and he totally totally backed off everything he says, including the talks about lawsuits and that. And the reason is because he used his influence to tank it. And I don't think he realized what he was doing.
He didn't realize
in
that
a previous video,
in the industry.
in a previous video, I saw him talk about getting wrapped up in the idea of getting to the bottom of the investigation and talking to people and getting them to admit it and blah blah blah. And what happened here is he did it too soon, and he unfairly used his influence, or unwittingly used his influence, I should say, to cause the rest of the Hawk-Tua market to sell out, where it was possible that it could have returned, because most meme coins start with a massive sell-off.
Yeah, and then pull.
But this one went even further. And one of the reasons was he was on the air going scam, 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 scam. No different than when the original Safe Moon was out. And I can't remember the account now. This account that was seemingly out there to protect everybody came out and said, Safe Moon's a scam. It's a scam. It's a big scam. They're going to rug pull you, and it's a rug pull, and everyone's a scam. And meanwhile, it wasn't. It was just this collection of idiots that got lucky. And it caused that first dump in Safe Moon to kind of dump when it was really going. And then the Safe Moon guys immediately burned $250 million in LP. Mm-hmm. They burned it. And that righted the ship. But they had to burn $250 million to counteract one internet Twitter account. That guy never got that account never got in trouble because it wasn't doxxed. Nobody knew who it was. But anyway, when we talk about things, first of all, our voice is small here, growing, but small.
Yep.
But we never come on and just accuse people of things. We talk about it.
Yeah.
And CoffeeZilla, good job with your channel, and good job with many things you do. But got to be careful in this land. Got to be careful getting ahead of yourself. Anyway, that was what I wanted to talk about yesterday with Zilla, so we got to it today.
I think it's also
as
KOLs that you realize like you are a giant walking among tiny people, right? Especially when you're talking about small coins that are just getting started. So your one system, her team dumped, they profited. Haley is
there's plenty of dumpers on that. There's no doubt about it.
I'm not sitting there saying it, but were they dumping their whole entire bag, or were they dumping to create profits so they could help with the marketing in addition? And then we talked about this earlier yesterday. I said, are they dumping and this is part I don't understand. Okay, this is the other part. I'm in conflict here, right? She left. She basically bounced out and said, I'm going to sleep. And then she never really came back, started doing stuff, talking about it. She just kind of left it. And the team itself was trying to rectify situation, but they didn't really sit there and reach out. Like, I would have been in let's say I'm in that situation. I'm reaching out to CoffeeZilla, posting pictures of the blockchain saying, look, this is what did. You can see this transfer goes to this marketing wallet. You can see this goes to here. I would have been doing that versus trying to defend myself. I said, it was funny. Yesterday, I was in a little dispute. Somebody, the BLM guy who came out and said, let's go ahead and be a vigilante for Black people, right? And at first I was like, oh no. But my curious side kicked in and said, wait, I only see literally a minute to a minute and a half video here. And he was still talking, and all I saw was a small bits. And I remember back when Trump was talking about Mexicans, and this is important. This was 8 years ago, right? And how bad they are and how horrible they were. And I literally believe that snippet. Then a buddy of mine sent me the full video and said, watch the full video. And literally, I realized the part that he talks about, he goes, they snippet the small little part and left out he was talking about MS-13 and the drug cartel, which I have seen personally, and I know that they are real and they are ruthless. And that's who he was talking about, removing outside of the United States and getting them out. And so
CoffeeZilla brought this up?
No, this is an example of what happens, right? Of how people want to take the snippet and run after that instead of looking at the full market.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And understanding what's actually happening in each time frame. They want to sit there and look at a 5-minute chart and go, look, it's going down. And the reality is it's coming down to a demand area where it's going to skyrocket up. And in our society, we are so quick to want to learn, just give me two, and this actually flies in the face of what you were just telling me, Tom. But people want to just say snippet of a small 20, 30 seconds and just give it to me. And that's bullshit. You need to do your full work. You need to do your real stuff. It doesn't happen this way. When you got a video, somebody's saying something, you need to watch the whole entire thing. So this is where I'm at conflict of just saying one thing about Miss Haktua. I don't know if this is where I fight against this, right? And again, this happens all the time on the right and the far right and the far left media. They take small bits and pieces and they place it on us and they try to get us to fight against each other. And the reality is we need to pull back, see the full scope of the chart, whatever the circumstance is, and understand the full story versus trying to get a 30-second to a minute video. And this actually happened to me on Twitter last night with the Black Lives Matter guy. And so it very much frustrates me with people. Anyhow, and I myself, I'm frustrated with myself, but I'm really trying to make sure that I look at the broad view, just like I look at the market. Okay.
Quickly, the group here is talking about BitBoy, two black eyes. What is it about YouTube and crypto people that make them think that they are fighters and want them to get in the? Is it because they're like, well, I've tried every other stupid marketing thing. I've gargled bleach. I've run through broken glasses, flaming fired. What do I need to do next? I'll fight Mike Tyson, or I'll get into MMA. I'm a recovering drug addict who's the most out of shape guy I've ever seen in my life, and I'm going to get into the ring too because my name is BitBoy. I don't understand it. I don't understand it to go in and have someone beat the crap out of you.
Well, it could be that he just needs money, bro. He just needs money.
I'm sure you got into the ring at some conference. Influencers are literally fighting each other in the ring. Yeah, that's how you know you've really made it, Pedro. When we get invited to a conference to get into a ring and box, they're like, "Oh, but you're an influencer, so you gotta get in the ring and fight, right?" No.
It's crazy times, man. I love it. I absolutely love
Carmen
it.
says she'll do a taco eating contest. I don't think I want to fight Carmen on the taco eating contest. Although Pedro will give you a run for your money.
Oh man, that's funny. A taco eating.
Kaching says Bit Bum would be a better name for that guy.
Oh no, man, he's trying. He used to be at the top of his game, and now he's
Steve Rodriguez in it too. This is going to be a legit competition for number of tacos.
Oh, this is game on. Shoot, it's game on. By the way, man.
Hey, Steve, quickly, hold on. So, Steve, tell us where the launch is going to happen today. Are you rolling through it in your Telegram room, or are you where's the main communication point for that so we can follow it? Go ahead, Pedro. Sorry about that.
No, I want to shout out to our guys over at Rumble, man. We've steadily stayed about 10 to 20 people over there. So it's pretty nice. Thanks for having us. Thanks for watching us. If you guys do us a favor and just hit that like button and share button. It would really help us out quite a bit. And if you would, just log in, create a little profile and comment on our section. We're an interactive show, and it does help us out quite a bit with the algorithm. So please, we appreciate you if you could come in and talk.
Thank you, Rumblers. Anyway, it's Technical Tuesday here, Pedro. What's you know what? I in the title here we had XRP and XLM go up. Let's check them out to see if anything's going on.
XLM, here we go
with them.
XLM. Now, I expected that we talked about this. I said, heading this area, I thought we would come back and just tap the 8 and then continue up. And so I did expect us to kind of continue up here. When we came back and hit this, I said, this was back on Monday and Tuesday. We're going down here. This was last week. We did pierce the 8. So I said, potentially we could go, we should blow through this area here and continue up. But the problem is we did pierce this 8. So you can see how when this started coming down, I said, if it does come down, expect it to come down into this area here. This is when we drew our area right here and said, expect this to potentially come down to this area. So I put a caution level here of expect us to come back down. And sure enough, this is where we're seeing it. So I'm going to make this into a zone area. And we're going to wait for it to come down here. So this is a good area for us for XLM to buy up more of it at 30 cent to 26 cent area. Okay, and potentially even lower if we get lucky down to this 19-18 cent area here and then see it go up. Let's check out XRP here as we're looking to capture this. We came down to our area here of XRP. We're starting to see it bounce up. And let's look at the higher or the smaller time frame here. We came in, this was that flash crash that we saw on Monday. Boom, came down, boom. And you can see here, this is important. We're not seeing a lot of seller wicks. We're seeing it go down, but we're not seeing a lot of seller wicks, which means most likely it's going to easily go up once we hit an area where there's real buyers step in. And so that's a good sign saying that they're dropping it to push it back up. And so this is that area that I'm looking at right now. We have a little area that's that $1.97 area to the $1.84. I think they're going to drop it down further with what we're seeing because we're seeing a lot of volume in this hour candle. Let's actually go to the 30-minute here real quick. Boom. Yeah, check out the 15-minute here. On that 5. Yeah. So yeah, so the majority of that was definitely more sellers. So I think they're going to drop it down to this level here, which is going to be potentially, and people are not going to want to hear this, but potentially they can come down to that 105 area. So unless we really start to consolidate right here the next day or two, we're probably going down here past this point. Now, I like this area, come on, simply because if it does hold here, it would allow the 8-period moving average on the weekly to catch up to this level here. So it all depends on what they want to do. Oh, give me 1 second. Let's go and pull this up here too. This is our weekly area right here, which is going to be that 140 to that 130 cent area here as well. This is a weekly zone.
Where's the XRP army today? Last week we did this, Pedro, and we had 1,000 people watch us. Today we've got 20.
That's okay. Listen, we're building. I'm glad that we actually hit one show where we got 1,000, which basically let me hit my goal for the year.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, but here's the thing: we got 20 though, which I appreciate every one of those 20 guys watching and talking to us. Listen, if you have questions, potentially where we can see the market come down to, please come check us out. Please ask us real questions. We'll go over that stuff. If you want us to check into a couple other things, that would be great as well. We have no problem doing it. But here we go. So we came down, we're coming down into this weekly zone here, which is pretty nice here. On XRP, excuse me, it's a daily zone. Why was I, oh, right here. Yeah, sorry, I was kind of tripping there. I was like, wait, my eyesight. So this right here, this zone is sitting in between. So I'm pretty positive if we're coming down to this, if we continue down, it's coming down to this $1.43 to the $1.28 area where we're going to see it basically most likely stop and turn around. And so this area is definitely one of those areas I'm looking. So if you want to take profit, you can. Or if you want to stay in, right? Stay in and just pick up more XRP at this level. If you're doing liquid staking on any other platforms, right? And you're kind of belly up, I would put in a position. Again, this is not financial advice, but I personally would be putting in a position probably at this level here on XRP, right? To see if I can pick up cash there and actually start again.
What price level is that, Pedro?
That's that 143 to the 128 area, in between the weekly 8-period moving average.
So you're saying that a good spot to go along with XRP is in that 128 to 143 area.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm writing that down.
Definitely. Good old Doge, baby. Coming back, pulling back to our area of demand on the weekly. I'm almost positive Doge is going to stop here at that 35 cent to 32 cent area, where we'll have a pullback down to this level, and then most likely continue up. Now, mind you, these seller wicks up here, there's not a lot of seller wicks up here. And all of these charts, there's not a lot of seller wicks here. So we should be easily able to, as we pull back, picking up buyers, because everybody's selling. Remember, I'm always trying to explain that. Then when we come back down to a liquidity point where they stop out all the people right here underneath this level, right? This area right here is where we are seeing this is going to be where it's going to stop out, right? We talked about this area right here, and
Yep.
here. There are a bunch of stops in between this level here. So I would expect to see us on Doge come down, tap this area, take all those stops, which are sell orders, which then the institution or a money market
Those places where money is.
Money market makers, or the automatic money market makers, right? They will then pick up all of these orders and then take it back up, right? And it's most likely what's gonna happen. So I like this area right here for Doge. I was looking at Matic today. Matic came down. Now we didn't hit this area. I put this up actually this morning, because I was looking at this going, this is a good area for us to get into potentially. So this area on Matic is coming down to an area right here of that 48 cent area for the 8-period moving average on that weekly. Okay. And you can see here, as we're coming down into that level here, I would expect us to see it bounce off this area and then see it continue up. I do like, and we talked about this here, potentially coming back down to that monthly zone here that I like, right? That 37 cent area here. If we could come down to there towards Christmas, right? I would really appreciate it so I could buy in more. So that's really where my like, please come down, right? Because what's going to happen is going to scare everybody, and they're going to sell out, and then we'll see a big sell-off. And then Matic, I'll be able to pick up more Matic at 38 cents. So as it comes down, before it really starts to get going here after Christmas, and we see it just rally into the new year as Trump comes into office. And I think this really is a thing that's happening for the institutions, because they know once Trump gets into office, it's most likely just going to go gangbusters in crypto, and it will escalate to a frenzy, and it'll get stupid. And when it's all the way up here at $2.90, $3, $4, it will get fun. It will get fun. So
Pedro, we've got a new viewer on Kick. It's Andrea331. Obviously came into the show late and says, what about BTC? How much it will go down from here? We went over BTC a little bit before he came on the show, but I think Pedro will give it a refresh here.
Another row here.
Just for our new viewer.
Well, thank you for coming in, Ms.
Welcome to the show, and thanks for joining us on Kick.
Okay, so I do expect it to come back down to, I think it's going to retest that $88 mark, because there are a lot of buyers sitting. You can see it couldn't even get down to it because the amount of buyers were sitting into this, bought it up. I think it's going to come back down there to that 88,500. Again, this is BTC USD, Andrea, okay? So when you look at your charts at other platforms, it may be a little bit different, but what you want to do is you want to see this area right here. This is the area that I'm looking. It's a 4-hour zone area right here. So that's why, oh wow, I did not put that in. I just realized that. Forgive me for that. Boom. So this is a 4-hour zone. I think we could very much hit that area and most likely bounce off of it and then continue down. So that's that first area that I think we can expect to see some type of push up. And additionally to that, these other areas are areas where I think the market could turn around at. It's not just a one thing, right? Typically, when you have a quick sell-off before they flip it up, there's 3 segments. Okay, there's the first initial, okay, where they drop it, which would be right here. Then the second one, they mess with people and they drop it below here. And then that third one typically could be right here at that 81,000 to 71,000. So it could look like a puke right here. So they come down, they bring it up, boom, bounce, boom, bounce, and then your third one, boom. This is the puke, where they just everybody
Capitulation.
And everyone's like, oh, we're going back down. We're all gonna be poor, and then they say psych, or as it's psych, psych, and then they flip it and go boom, boom. So these are little areas you want to be looking to play in, right? So when the market moves, I don't necessarily give you an exact area. What I do is I teach you how to look at the market correctly and to gauge when it's happening. Okay, because remember one thing: the market is always right here, and so I'd rather teach you.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and the key is to look at the market at a whole. So I was hoping we were going to see a 110. But maybe not. And we have this area right here. You asking, you probably should ask, what are those yellow areas? These yellow areas are the areas that we brought in right here on this Monday. It was last Monday where we talked about the market is potentially going sideways in a market. And I said, we need to get above this area with volume where it potentially could hit that 110 area and come back down. So it's really important as I'm looking at the market for us to see volume push down. Well, we're still in this area of just consolidation and waiting. And partly, I think, and now this is my own view, a lot has to do with Trump, him getting in the office and who he's putting into the correct places. And so, by the way, it's kind of cool seeing that some of the people that he's putting into office is pretty dope, and they're very crypto friendly. So I'm excited about, and they understand crypto. So we're going to see I think we're going to see some really, really cool advances in crypto and legislation. So I'm really excited about
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so, because we can't let that go.
And forgive me, I know I just gave you a word salad there, Andrea, or is it Andrea? Is it Andrea? Is it Andrea? Do you know like what it is for her? I don't have kick up, so I don't see it.
You don't need to bog your system with another feed. Steve says, how long do you think it'll take for the big rise again? When do you think it's going to move into that phase where it gets up to 125 to 135K?
Well, we're still at the beginning of the month here, right? So we're coming into the mid of the month. We're seeing the push up to drop down. Remember, in a bull market, if it's going to go up, it's going to go up, then down, then up. So I would think, again, it could be within a week where we see just the puke of it, one day up, down, up, down. It could be 2 weeks until then the market then comes where we then have a Christmas rally. Okay, so it depends on when they want to do it. Is it going to be the last week and a half where they then rally up, or are they going to do a central week where, right? Like, so this was the first part of the week, of the month, right? And then as they went the first part of the month, and I'm actually going to do this here real quick so it'll actually make it easier for me. Here we are. Okay, so you can see here we went down to go up, to go down, and then most likely this down market right here is going to come down to here. And I'm just going to draw this right here because I want to make potentially what it looks like. Boom, into this part right here. And this is a few scenarios here. Okay, this is really important because I think here again, here's the middle of the month. This is where you start, where you put in the higher low here. And then we see it then go up, boom, to here. And then probably the last week we might see, because remember, like the market typically doesn't move. There's not a lot of trading. And when there's not a lot of trading, the market typically wants to go up, right? Like on American holidays, the market typically goes up instead of down, right? Because most people are like, our minds are set to buy here in America. We are, it's just how our
buy. It's good Black Friday. It's Cyber Monday.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
everyday sale.
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking. So most likely this could push it up into a Christmas rally here, or a potential Christmas rally into the new year, and then watching Trump get into office. So that's the idea. So again, I bring this up, and I know that you're like, Pedro, makes sense. Beginning of the month, we went up to go down. And that down will probably most likely go until the 15th, 16th, maybe 20th. Then from there, consolidate, put in a higher low, and then see this up higher. Okay. That's what I think potentially what could happen. And I would give it around the 16th to the 20th, right? And then come back up and hit it, just screaming up. As people see it sell off. And the reason why I say this is because we're not seeing a lot of like seller wicks, right? These areas here don't have a lot of sellers there. You see more buyer wick here versus, like, look at this, like smaller seller wicks, bigger buyer wicks, right? Like we're moving up, but you can see how they came in, they dropped it. And so it's the same thing. Look, no seller wick. Look at the buyer wick here, buyer wick. Right, and most likely we're going to see it come back down again. So if they can keep doing, they're gonna do as much as they can to drop it so that they can push it back up, I think. So that's it in a nutshell. I know I just gave you a lot there.
And Steve, hope you took that all in.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone on Rumble. Numbers consistent over there.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Remember to join up over there and comment here. We'd really appreciate it.
So I want to also talk about a couple other news sources here, because I think what's really interesting is that after what Trump talked about saying, hey, if you're a BRICS nation, I'm not going to be cool with you. I'm going to heavily tax you or tariff you. And so I thought what was really interesting is El Salvador has discovered basically an unminted gold reserve, potentially worth up to $3 trillion. Mr. Bukele announced. And this is, he's not necessarily in the BRICS nation, right? Like, but in the same sense, he does interact with them quite a bit. And so that could tank if $3 trillion of market gold comes on, that potentially could drop the value of gold. Right now, is it true what he's saying? Because he is a Bitcoin maxi. His whole entire country is based off of Bitcoin. So is he just saying this so he can mess with the price of Bitcoin by people moving money out of gold into Bitcoin? Potentially. But I just think it's really interesting to see what he said. And Tom, I'll send it to you here real quick because I can see you're trying to find it.
Well, Pedro, let me throw a little context around all of this.
Yes, please.
On the same day that he announces that there's all this magical gold he found in his tiny little country, of which they basically have to strip mine the whole country. So that's not going to happen. But on that same day, they announce that they're taking a $1 billion loan from the IMF. and the International Monetary Fund required them to back away from Bitcoin a little bit, saying, before the law was that all retailers have to take Bitcoin or Lightning Network as payment. And the IMF, which is completely anti-crypto, came out and said, we're not going to give you the money unless you do that. So once again, the IMF is putting the screws to people for views that they don't like. And so he had to back off it a little bit. He's still go ahead and training his whole government on it. People can still use it. But it's really amazing how a couple of things happen that make me go, that's the song, things that make you go, things that make you go, So he announces a couple of weeks ago, or 2 months ago, that the 2025 budget for El Salvador will not include, for the first time ever, I think, will not include any debt. They will not issue any government debt. They're going to run it all on cash. Their receipts are good. Investment is good in the country. They're going to do it all
Which
great.
is a spit in the face of the IMF.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then 2 months go by, and he has to take $1 billion. $1 billion for a country of only 3.5 million people is a lot of money. It's not like Michael Saylor money, like, infinite money machine, just get some more monies. That's a big obligation to pay back. And so I wonder what happened in that time frame to make him say, we have plenty of cash, we're doing well, to we need $1 billion in cash. That's not like, we're a little off on the budget. We're way off on the budget. And so I need to get to the bottom of that, because something's off there. And when things are off in the Bitcoin world, bad things happen. Yeah. Bad things happen, and they're highly negative on the market. Let's see. We got a new viewer here, Mondragon. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling this dip is coming ahead of the CPI news tomorrow. Well, that's a good point also. Steve had a great point about wash sales, that it's the end of the year and people are going to sell and rebuy 30 days later in January to avoid the wash sale issue. That's also a great point.
That is.
And everyone that can do that, I suggest you can, first of all, I suggest you talk to a tax advisor. But I suggest you limit your tax liabilities also by taking advantage of things in the market like that, but talk to a tax advisor. Let's see. Carmen says, I'm eager to rant about this CEO assassin on Friday. Just saying. What's Friday? Is there something going on Friday?
Yeah, we do Full Rant Friday.
On our Full Rant Friday.
Friday.
It totally escaped me.
It's okay. By the way,
Carmen, I spent 27 years in that business, in the CEO protection business, and all that. And this is near and dear to my heart. So I love discussions about this. Steve, yeah, it's our Full Rant Friday. Our X space is on Friday, about 12:30 every Friday, and you can come in and talk about anything you want. And usually it's a rant. You want to complain about something, but also we take good news too. And so hopefully we'll be talking about the successful launch of the legit DAO.
Exactly. The other part behind it, I think it's really interesting here is that Goldman Sachs CEO says firm could consider Bitcoin Ether trading if U.S. regulation shifts. So imagine when the true infinite system, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, right? Like decide, okay, let's just put this is the part that I bring up, because if people are wash trading here, okay, and all of a sudden they drop in the market here, and all of a sudden we see Bitcoin get down to our 60,000 area, that's juicy. Why would you, if you're looking at a chart going like, look at that pullback, and you're Goldman Sachs, you're like, let's put in $100 billion just to see what happens here, right? And granted, and I think it was, who was the guy who did Audit Chain? And I think he brought up a good thing. He goes, when you consider that volume is actual liquidity, if the liquidity isn't overly on one side or the other, it very much could just take the liquidity out, right? What he was talking about. And I thought that was really interesting, because right now, like Bitcoin is pretty, even though it's liquid, it's illiquid on either one side or the other. So if Goldman Sachs sits there and looks at the liquidity or the volume coming in and out and go, let's see if we can make a quick buck here, right? and they're able to get in. I mean, would it not be juicy for the institution to sit there and go, all right, we're going to play this and see what
And
happens.
they're gonna fuck it up, Pedro. What
They
they're
are.
gonna do is they're gonna put their fractional banking into play here. They're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
take
let's do it.
people are gonna buy Bitcoin. They're gonna hold on to it. They're gonna lend against it. People are gonna buy more Bitcoin. They're gonna hold it. They're gonna lend against it. People are gonna buy Bitcoin. And until, I mean, one of the things that needs to happen is that when the new Congress sits, they're gonna have to say you can't do that with crypto assets. You can't endlessly
Fractionalize it.
fractionalize them and hypothecate them and that type of stuff. They're going to have to put limits, like you have to keep 70% reserves. Like right now, the banks only have to keep 5% reserves or something like that.
Dude, that's if, make sure, that's if we're in a moderately liquid area. If the market goes, if we start to see a much more liquid area, they can get up to 1%, if not 0.5% of deposits in the system. So just so you understand that. Like, dude, it's got, you know what I'm saying? It all depends on if the Federal Reserve sits there and goes, dude, no, it's a little too, you know what I'm saying? It all depends on the, anyways, go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry, I digress.
No, I was just saying that they need to put a limit on that because, the US dollar market and is vastly larger than Bitcoin. I mean, orders of magnitude larger than Bitcoin. It makes Bitcoin look like the little corner bodega in New York compared to the vastness of the dollar market.
No, bro.
And so the dollar market
can, of the universe, and then when you pull back and you look at Earth, right, in the form of the universe, that's Bitcoin in the form of the US dollar. Like, you can't even see it because it's hundreds of trillions of dollars, including derivatives, including the actual spot market. Go ahead.
So the point is that small things for a bank could be very large things for Bitcoin, and they could wreck a whole market. And as smaller countries that have been fighting inflation for years, move to cryptocurrencies and stable coins to help solve these problems. These big banks with their normal practices could cause unending harm to all these other countries by having a leverage bubble in the Bitcoin market. 76 Norton, welcome to the house here on Rumble. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Good to see you back, 76. You're on mute, Pedro.
I was looking at the crypto rewards over on crypto.com, and it was so interesting, on some of the stuff that's happening there. Liquid staking and rewards, right? As you can sit there and play. And I was looking at it on the on USDC. I was USDC or USDT? Shoot, I think it was USDC. It was 15% APY. Like, how can you sit there and go, why am I going to put in like money in a bank when I can get literally 15% off of my dollar just sitting in cash? I mean, in
where are they getting the money from?
I think it's to do with fees.
Feeding part of their trading fees into it?
Every buy, 2 to 3%, based off of where you sit in on how much money you have with crypto.com. And if you think about that, like, it doesn't seem like a lot of money. Every $100 you make $3. But if people, let's say, like, there's a lot of people there who literally use these exchanges now for crypto to sit there and start dollar cost averaging. So let's say most people are buying it on a weekly or monthly basis. That's 3% compounded. All of a sudden, they're able to, right? See, this is what I'm saying. 3% compounded is huge. Yeah, exactly. 3% goes to 3.5%. Now that money can be issued into treasuries, can be issued into gold, can be issued into the stock market, can be in, you need to understand. So then all of a sudden, then they receive dividends on top of that. So it's this system that is actually being created in crypto with what you're talking about, which is literally that leverage system that potentially could top it again and cause another drop. So when it hits $250,000, $300,000 for Bitcoin here, right? We could see it then pull back down to the $100,000 mark. And then we go into the bull market again. We buy up dollar cost average, right? While at the same time reestablishing your liquid staking and also your rewards. Hopefully bring back staking again without getting your hand slapped. And then again, and I bring this up for our people because, all through this bear market, we were going through and we were buying small bits of these coins as they were selling. And I keep telling our community, all you need is 2 bear markets to be a multimillionaire in crypto. Even if you start small
bull markets?
Now. Huh?
Bull markets or bear markets?
Excuse me, 2 bear markets. Thank you so much for clarifying that. 2 bear markets.
Wait, bear or bull?
No, 2 bear markets. You need to dollar cost average.
Oh,
2
exactly.
bear markets. And then it goes up. Then it comes back down. Sorry, I know that's kind of off. Let me do that again so you can sit there and see this here. Actually, you know what? We'll do it like this, even better. We can actually use previous markets. Okay, here we go. Okay, bear market right here. Bear market right here. Actually, no. Bear market right here. Bear market right here because we got above that 50 period moving average around there. Okay, this area in this market, we're talking this is a big deal. This is the market when it was sitting around this was 60,000, this was 20,000. This is when it went down to 3,000. Bear market BTC. This is when it came down to 15,000. So if you were dollar cost averaging, let's just say simple $100 a week, or $100 every 2 weeks, $50 a week. Okay, where you're buying in for 3 years, right? So that's $2,500 on a yearly basis. That's $5,000 in these bear markets on both of these. Okay, that's $5,000. But when you consider the majority of your cost average is sitting around $6,000 for BTC here, and your dollar cost average is sitting around potentially $20,000 BTC, right? You're up percentage-wise, probably, I'm assuming, what is it? 3,000 or 6,000 plus 20,000. The average of that is, come on, brain, 26 divided by 2 is 12, 13, $13,000 cost average, and you're up $100,000 here, right?
That's a good result.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. If you're doing that, then the next bull run, which is going to be here, shoots all the way up, which is your third bull run, and then your next bull run is right, or your next bear market is sitting right at $100,000. So now all of a sudden you have real money. You have potentially $70,000 to $100,000 in your account off of basically that $5,000. And then that makes money because you have it deployed in crypto.
Right.
So you're still working your full-time job. You're still taking care of your family. You take care of your kids, putting food on the table. So the next bull market, right? So we go from here, come back down. Then we hit that, I'm sorry, well, let's go here, 25, 26, 20, 30,000. This next bull run comes here, shoots back up. This is all for you. You're all of a sudden you have $1 million in the bank account here. At these levels, you have $1 million in the bank account because of the exponential pullbacks that happen that you can spend dollar cost averaging as the market is down. And you don't need a lot of money. It's your martini that you drink every night. It's your going out.
Got my attention with that one.
Wait, what?
You got my attention with the martini comment.
Oh, but you know what? That's not what I mean. But you know what I'm saying? Like we all blow like it on coffee. That's your coffee money. That
Right.
$4, right? That $6 a day that you blow. Well, that's $30 to $50 at the end of the month. Or excuse me, that's $30 to $50 at the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? So, and that money can add up where you just simply just put away, like take 2 years of your life, kind of pull yourself back. Don't go out to eat as much. I'm not telling you not to go out to eat. I'm just saying don't go out to eat as much. Don't buy as much coffee and just put your money in, right? Or you go out and instead of going out to eat, you stop at the taco trucks, right? And instead of blowing $20, $15 at a thing, right? Or you make your own lunch. And this is how you actually go through and you set up over a period when the market is literally up here. And so, and I know this sounds just nuts, but these are real numbers. Like even let's just say it's not even a million. Let's just say it's $70,000 to $100,000. Okay, and but if you're making because crypto here, you can get good interest off of your money, right? And so if you can get good interest off your money, and whether that's 5%, 10%, that money, if at $100,000, that's $10,000, that's $12,000 that you can make off of your money. And you're like, wait, what? How is that possible? Because traditional finance is now, well, this isn't traditional finance. This is crypto where the fees are shared. You can get into liquid staking pools. You can get into rewards that give you up to 10 to 12, 15%. And so that allows you to be able to get ahead. And it's really important to understand that. That's why I was telling everybody, look, you still be buying as it sells off. And I'm here to help out. Look, this is a good area. I'll be buying in as it hits this level. Right. This is why I get frustrated with Michael Saylor. Because Michael Saylor, from here where he tops off, right, which let's say 100,000, right, where it pulls back down to 89,000, that's 10%. People become millionaires off of 10% annually compounded over 10 or 20, 30 years. Right. So that's why the pullbacks are so important that I tell you guys to wait for, because they'll always pull back. I'm sorry, man. I just went on it. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Got you. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go over our friend XRP here. XRP is hitting that area here. I like this area. Like I said, I even like it better down at that 143 area here for myself. Let's check out TRX. TRX had an explosive area. We talked about it coming down to our area here of that 17-cent area again, which is nice. I'm definitely, as it hits this lower areas here, that 17, 16-cent area, potentially 18. I'm definitely looking to be buying at these levels again, right? Because it creates this new all-time high with all these big buys. So I want to get in at these levels, right? Potentially, if I could even see it come down to that 17-cent area, or 13-cent, like it's game, like boom. I'm buying there. Um, Doge, we already talked about Doge coming down and hitting our area here, which is looking sexy, sexy as ever, as we all say here. Thank you everyone on Rumble. That's right, laugh out loud. Oh, yeah, that was awesome. That's awesome. Okay, let's check out. We talked about, I want to talk about ADA here too. ADA here, I am all right, so we hit this peak here on ADA, right? It's not the peak of the market. We hit this and we saw it kind of come down here. I'm really liking 59-cent area to the 53-cent area here. If it comes back down to this level, it may not come back down here. It potentially could bounce off of that 50-period moving average here, right? Which is again sitting at, let me make sure I get this right, 70 cents area. So we go to that weekly area. That's where our weekly 8 is sitting. So we potentially are going to hit that area and see some fluctuations. it will most likely bounce off that 70-cent area here on that weekly, potentially hit the week and then come down to that daily 50 area as we play here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if this comes down to there where I can pick up some more Cardano. Solana is falling through our area and coming back down here. We talked about this as it hit these levels. Shoot, I need to reach out to Shogun. Shogun, if you're watching this, dude, I was trying to tell you guys, this is what I was meaning. Like you can see here, like it hit this area here was showing seller wicks here, right? This is what I was meaning, my brother, is this area here was showing weakness. So we were going to come down, right? This is what I meant. And it came down, it hit the areas that we talked about. It hit the 205 to that 20 area. We're hitting the 50 period moving average. Potentially, we could come back down to the 193, 187 area. And remember, when I talked to you, we were sitting here at that 1 or 214 area. And I said, be ready if it comes and shoots up hardcore, which I talked about, hitting this area. And I was on your space there. Remember, I was explaining this, my friend. We were going to hit this area, come back down, push up, and we should see some seller wicks. And you asked me, how much money do you need to deploy? And I haphazardly said $2 billion. I realized as I was saying this, because I was calculating it, that you would actually go through and figure out a way to deploy what you really needed was about $100 billion. $100 billion, because remember, the institutions don't play by our rules. When we deploy $1 to move the market, all they have to do is deploy 10 cents. And they have the same weighted effect because their margin is a lot less than ours. And so they can move a market much easier than we can. And so and plus they have an infinite amount of an infinite amount because they can take loans against that, right? And pick up even more and then also call their buddies up. So I said 2 billion because I didn't want you to actually deploy the amount of money that you would need, because then what they would do is they would take the other side and just absorb it. So it was I knew I had to sit there and say, I can't let my friend get hurt here. He's dogmatic in this and he's not going to hear me. So I had to be smart because I didn't want you to deploy everything that you had and then just get wrecked. So I say this because this area here did exactly what I was expecting. We're coming back down now for Solana, which is dope. I'm picking up some Solana here, baby. So we have, oh wait, somebody just hit me up. Give me a second. Let me check out I'm going on a roll here. I'm being solo. What is this? The last bear market hit 17K with a 65,000 all-time high. No, bro, it actually hit a 15K, the last bear market. I was sitting there looking at it. We can actually go into that. With a 65K all-time high. I expect the current bull run will reach around 200K and drop to 55K and the low of the bear market. I don't think that. I personally think that the current market is most likely going to hit 300,000K here. And then from there, find a support probably around either $150,000 to $100,000 market cap, just to give you heads up. Boom. We don't even have one top. Oh, that's awesome. I quit life without I do without carne asada, carnitas, right? Being really cooked. Woo! People do not know the taste of when you go to a taco truck over in Southern California or Central California, or even on the Bay Area, where you can pull up to the taco truck and you can, well, I haven't been out there in years. Somebody told me it's expensive, but it's still, they marinate that chicken, they marinate the carne asada, the carnitas. It is divine, like absolutely divine. So 15K US, right. So it's actually, you're right. I didn't think about that. UK versus, so in the US, USD, we saw the market go down to 15,000 in the last bear market here. You can see right here, it came down around the 15,000. And then I honestly thought we were going to come down to the 10,000 to 5,000 because we did not put in a good wick. And so obviously I was wrong here. And until we hit about 50,000, 40,000, I kept, I kept saying the market was going to go lower, you know, and that was my bad. But we were still looking to be buying the market as we kept seeing drops and dips in this market here, back in this kind of bull market here. It was 17 to 20 something K Canadian. Okay, yeah. There you go. Thank you for the clarification, Mike. I appreciate that. And Steve, my bad then. So I misunderstood what you were talking about then, my brother. Sorry about that. It's good that you clarified that, Mike. I appreciate that. And if any of the other guys don't know who I'm talking to, if you guys go over to YouTube, I'm talking with a lot of our guys who are out there hanging out here and just kind of talking to us. Okay, so I'm really liking, let's go back to Solana here. Solana here, I'm digging off of. Let's see what they're doing on the intro time frames here. You can see that 8-period moving average on that 4-hour is holding strong. You can see we are trending off of that. So until we break that 8-period, honestly, I expect us to keep going lower, potentially that 192 to the 185 area. And you'll be able to sit there and see it as we move forward here. I'm really kind of excited here simply because as we come down here, this again allows us to be able to, save up our money until we see the pullbacks, right? And then we get in at these levels. And once Trump gets in, we're gonna start trading the futures markets, right? And because I won't have to worry with the SEC coming in one day and you know coming after us. I'm afraid of that, those guys, with the last administration. So we're going to be smart in how we do that. And then once we start giving that to our viewers here, you guys will be able to come in. Right now, to a lot of our people that do come in and start watching me, I don't know if we'll use the Telegram group for that with me and Tom. And you guys just come and trade. And I don't know if it's going to be, I'd rather actually do it, at least for now, as tip your waiter type of thing, where you come in, you tip us through a non-profit area, right? I don't know if non-profit, but what's that? They call that Patreon, right? If you want to tip your waiter for helping you out. Well, I'd appreciate that, or we'd appreciate that as well. But that's one of those things we're going to start bringing to the table here at DYOR Media Network. Now that the administration is changing, it's a good thing for us, so I can bring much more value to you guys in regards to the trading aspect and what we want to do. And we're going to be using our guides. So if you guys would sign up with BitFi, the actual coin there, if you go look down at what we're doing here, you'll sit there and see that the BitFi link, the QR code, just hit it, boom, it'll take you directly to our link, and then you sign up with them. And then as we start to do more futures trading, you'll be able to take part in that. And then also you get discounts on using our QR code on your fees as well. So please use our system there for your guys' stuff. Okay, laugh aloud. When BTC was at 15,000, I went into my financial investment place. I asked if they did Bitcoin. She was like, that is too risky and lost a lot of value. So no. So if she would have listened to me, oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. I'd be pissed. I would sit there. But the thing is, at that time, 2 years ago, man, like 3 years ago, like when it hit that, like, how do you sit there and tell somebody, right, who's used to, at the most, a 12% to 20% pullback? This thing pulled back, oh, let me pull this up, from 60,000 or 70,000 here, right? I'm gonna say to all the way down to 15,000. It dropped down literally to this crazy, like 2008 for her was probably life changing. That was 50%. Okay. This was 75% drop. This is normal. Like for Bitcoin, how do you sit there and get somebody in traditional finance to sit there and say, we're going to allow you to get in? I mean, even if you did make money, the problem is how does she sit there and rectify to her investors that you put and Mike, I know you're a little bit older, somebody above 50 and above into a risky asset like this? There's no way you're going to be able to justify that. There's no way, right? She could be, and especially being in Canada, bro, where you guys barely, I mean, maybe in America you could, maybe you should have moved down to Mexico and done it. 41. Okay, all right, yeah. Then if you're 41, still, I mean, you still got maybe 15 years. I don't know what time you guys here in America. I think we retire at 63 or 64. So they might have done it here but again, there's no way they would have. Nobody was touching this. I was trying to get guys, just calling up old friends of mine saying, hey guys, right now is a good time to get in, but be buying, right? Guys who are in the financial world, they said we can't even buy in, because if they if on the backside, if somebody was to know that they bought in, they can get their licenses taken away. In America, I'm medically retired right now. Long story. Oh, military. Yeah, military finance. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yep. Oh shoot, bro. I mean, you could have totally you could have done it. You knew how to use the blockchain. You could have, or not even blockchain. You just simply could have used crypto.com, Coinbase, and you could have bought in at those levels, right? With it, and then basically ask for a loan, and just I knew some people who were saying they took out loans on their house through the bank and put it into Bitcoin at these levels here when it hit like that 25,000, and once we started showing higher highs and higher lows, I thought that was crazy taking loans, but obviously it paid off for them really well. But either way, it's one of those things. How we doing, Tom? How we doing? Give me a thumbs up here. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's check real quick back into Solana here. I want to talk about Solana here. Again, I think we come back down to the previous highs here, which is going to be sitting at that 193 to 187 area here for a flip zone. And also, more importantly, if this thing continues down, okay, which it sounds horrible, but if this goes down, right, I'm looking for this area next, okay, and that's gonna be, come on, buddy. All right, that would be this area here. And up for Jake Gagan, shout out there, man. I told you on your live stream, I said, shalom, my brother. The market's going down here. We should expect the institution meme coins to go down here. So expect to see some of that come down. And you could see it potentially come down to this level here on Solana. And that will affect a lot of the meme coins on Solana as it comes down, right? And so it's like trying to fight the tide as the tide is coming down. No matter how big that wave is, it can't fight the tide. And so as Solana drops, you have a couple areas here potentially, right? One could be that 192, 193. And if we're lucky, it's going to come down to 157 to 155 area. So that's a nice little area there.
Pedro, what's your buy zone?
My buy zone is down here at the 193, 187 area here. And like, that's really where I'm looking to be buying some Solana. And also, again, you guys know that I'm not an all-in guy. I like to DCA as we're coming down, right? And so you can see here at this level, that 193, also that 150, 160, 150 area. And then if I'm lucky, okay, I hope we get down to 130, 120. And then from there, we'll see it hit, right? And you're probably asking why those areas, because this is the 50-50 mark here, that 150 from when we hit the lows here, right? Which was, come on, right here of the $12 mark, right? To the 200, that 150-ish area here is kind of like the, or 120, 150 area here is that midpoint of like the low and the high, right? And so I like that these areas here, man, it would even be dope if we came down to the 100, dude. If we came down to the 100, dude, I'd just be like, yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be good times once this pulls back, and then we'll see it scream up. Let's check out AVAX. AVAX is looking hot to trot. I love it. Look at this pullback. Let me pull this up on the daily. This pullback is looking sexy. No supply wicks. Okay, coming down to potentially, we could be pulling back to that 24, 25 area here. And you're like, wow, it's pretty big. Well, potential, like I always say, potentially, right? This is the area that I think it will most likely hit for AVAX. Okay, in this pullback area. Okay, this weekly area right here. I would be happy if it pulled back down to that 34 area, 34, 33. And then also this area right here, which is a potential area again. This is that weekly zone of 42 to 38 dollar area for AVAX if you want to be looking. So I'm looking to pick up a little bit in 3 areas here, right? I'm gonna start my bag kind of down as it comes back a little bit further into AVAX, and then as it potential put about the rest of the half into that 35, 33 area. And then if it can come down to that $34, or excuse me, $24 area here, that's when I would put the rest of 50% of my what I want to buy into for AVAX. So I'm not top heavy, right? I'm basically base heavy, where I want to put the majority of it. So when it goes up again, and here's the thing, at these levels, if I don't overdo it, right, and I don't put everything in, and when it goes back up and it comes back and pulls back to that area, you can then dollar cost average into it, right, as it comes back down into support areas. Somebody just typed in here. What is it? All good, dude. I used to post it in Canadian last bull run, and people were like, "That's not the price." Then I realized it's always USD. Yeah, back again lunch. Meeting. What's up, Doctor? How you doing, Dr. J? It's good to have you. Right now, Tom is doing some business here for me, so I have basically taken over the show. You are left into my hands and my devices. Okay. But I wonder what that looked like when I was doing this. What do I do with these? What do I do with these? I don't know what to do with these. You just push them down. I don't know what to do with these hands. Tom. All right, so here we go. One of the things I've also been looking at, and this is for Arbitrum. Where's Arbitrum? All right, so Arbitrum, back in the day when it first launched, I actually did some TA on it. And I said that, where do you think it's going to pull back? And I said, most likely pull back down to that 39-cent, 35-cent area. It didn't get quite there. It got down to 44-cent area. But at the time, it was about, I think at the time it was sitting around the $5 mark, $4 mark area, because this was the first day of the launch, and I was actually on the Defi Dojo. Shout out to one of our sponsors over there. But I was in their Telegram talking with somebody, and we were talking about the launch. And somebody said, "Pay," or I started talking about TA. It's going to come down, and they're like, "Dude, there's no way." And they're like, "Where do you think it will come down?" I go, "Well, the first spot it's going to come down to is probably like the 95-cent area." And this is when it was sitting around $4, still on the first day as it was coming down. And as it was doing that, I remember, because it was, boom, here we go. I think maybe I need to go to the 2-hour. Let's see if it lets me get down here. Yeah. Yeah, it was like one big jump. It jumped up and then came back down. And then I remember it started going up here, and maybe it was 140. Maybe it was 140. And I talked about it hitting that 95-cent area, and they're like, maybe. And I said, but I really expect this thing to come down to that 30-cent area, 35-cent area. And there's no way it would happen. And sure enough, guys, look, came back down to this area here. And the reason why you're like, Pedro, why do you bring this up? Because I don't think we're going to come down to here. but I think we potentially could come back down if you're looking to get a little bit of an arbitrum, right? I think this area right here is a good area. Boom. Wait, shoot, I thought that's what it is. Sorry, it was right here. Boom. This area right here, and then potentially right here is this area. So this is where potentially I'm looking to pick up a little bit of arbitrum, right down at that 85 cent, 80 cent, but I think it could come back down further into two areas, right? One is going to be that 70 cent area, and the other one's going to be that 63 cent, 65 cent area here. I really like this area. I think it's a good area. I know they got a lot of stuff going on. Dang, Steve, that's sweet. I wish I got him back then, but I was stupid. What is this? Wow, you guys just totally. Did they have a nice food spread for you? Back again. This is where you say bomb and weird stuff out loud. Stand behind her and whisper, yeah, well, I'm going to leave that one alone. Jimmy John's.
I've already gone through all these comments.
Okay, perfect. All right, $5. All right, I'm glad you went in there. Awesome. Okay, so there you go. I like Arbitrum here. Let's check at what is it? I always mess this up. Cosmo. Because it's atmosphere, and so Cosmo, and how do you say Atmos? I'm gonna mess it up. We'll leave it alone. But you can see here, we hit our area, we're coming back down. I think we could see this one. Let me drop this stuff here real quick. We're gonna use, where are you at right here? And what's that? All right, give me 1 second, guys, because it's really hot right here, right this level here. Boom. So where's this sitting at? Weekly, boom. Yeah. So right there. And then do I have a, see, this is going to be hard. All right. So I would say right in these levels here for Cosmo, let's look this up right here. Boom. To here. We're going to sit there and play off of this. That's going to be that $6 to $5.90-ish area here as we look. And then the next level, if it comes back down to this level here, we want to sit there and see if we can pick it up at $3. That would be nice area for this here, for us to kind of pick up a little bit more. But more importantly with this, what I'm looking for is really pick up in volume. So if I see this come down, I don't see a big pickup in volume, I'm not going to be looking to buy. It's really important for me. You guys always know I want to see volume come in at real demand areas. If it comes down to that area of demand and I don't see a lot of volume, I'm stepping back. I'm like, I want to wait to see if it come further down. So it's super important. I still remember when Bitcoin came out, I had the chance to mine it when it had not much value. Kicking myself there. Yeah, that's the truth, man. Steve says, I had a friend in Mid Geek I'm sorry. I had a friend at MindGeek that got in at 50 cents. He still, $50, sorry, $50. He still have a lot of them. He's not much in Quebec anymore. I bet he's not.
No, that's 50 cents, Pedro.
Is that 50 cent? Okay. Well, I just see a parentheses. Is that how they do it?
He's doing that Quebec thing.
Oh, okay.
Weird punctuation.
This message is held for review. MindGeek owns Pornhub and YouPorn. Oh wow, yeah. Do you see that? Do you want to say yes or no to it? That's for you if you want to. Okay, so let's check out here real quick. Axie Infinity. All right, so it definitely blew through the area here. I like this area down here. You can pick up some Axie Infinity down here. So I like this area at that $5, 580 to 520 area here. And it's already 230. We've been going on here for a while. No, it's 50 cents. Wow, dude, 50 cents is ridiculous. That is absolutely just crazy when I look at that. Holy moly, 50. Dude, even if you got like $20 worth of 50 cents, dude, you've got 40 freaking Bitcoin. I mean, this is crazy. You know what I'm
4
saying?
million
Like,
bucks.
huh?
4 million bucks.
And you know he got more than 20. Like a lot more than 20. He probably got a couple thousand at that point. I knew some guys who were in the most best profession, and so they would go through and they would get paid in Bitcoin. And in that process, they were making thousands of dollars in Bitcoin, thousands of dollars, and they were buying and selling Bitcoin at the same time. They were in tech, and sure enough, man, like I called them up one time. I was like, "Hey, I need you guys to do me a quick favor, real quick." And they're like, "Oh, we're out of the business, bro." And I was like, "Why? What's up? Are you just get caught, or what's going on?" And they're like, "No, bro, we were paid in Bitcoin." And this was like last bear market. And I was like, "Oh, wow." And this was back in 2008. And when they were starting to get paid in Bitcoin. And so I was like, "Yeah, well, hey, congrats, man. That's awesome, bro. I just got myself into crypto too." And they're like, yeah, it's a good thing. And so they started just doing mining pools, or not mining pools, liquidity pools off of their Bitcoin and stuff like that, pairing it with other coins, or kind of whatever they would do. I don't know exactly. They just said they were making money off their Bitcoin. I don't know what that meant at the time, and I didn't even know what questions to ask them what that meant. So
Probably back then lending it out to Celsius and those groups.
oh snaps, really? Maybe they went belly up. I don't know, I'll give them a call again. So let's check it. So I like Axis. I like it down at these levels again at that $5 mark. We should again look, and I bring this up. There's not a lot of demand wicks here, or supply wicks here. So I'd expect us to see us continue up once we find footing wherever we're going to settle at. This area here is not going to act as much resistance here. It may actually. Let me see this. Okay. I forgot again. 4. Let's do the 8 hours here. Give me 1 second. Boom, boom, ba-da-da. Here we are.
Sorry, everybody.
That's all good, bro. I know your throat.
Sorry, everybody. I have to be quiet.
His throat getting thrown off here, so it's all good. It's his larynx got capped. So
It's the work from home dilemma.
that's what happens when you have a powerful wife and she tells you, turn that shit off. You go, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. You know, I was just joking. All right. Sorry, dude. I was just messing. So yeah, it potentially could act as a resistance level here. But I don't think it's going to hold it back that hard. We'll see it. This will act as some form of resistance, pull back to a trending mechanism, and then push back up. So we should expect that. And then the next level there is literally that $13 mark area here for Axie Infinity. And what was the other one? We were going to talk about a few of the meme coins here. So when you look at Bonk came back down to our lower levels here, which is nice, showing some strength here. I think it's going to continue down to this lower level here, which is going to be that 402624. So if you're looking to pick up on Bonk as it pulls back to that area, it's important. It's a good area to be looking at. That's close to 40 or 4,000 BTC. Yeah, he bought $2,000 worth at 50 cents. Yep, he's doing very well. Fire Chicken chart is heating up now. Back to the fiat mines. Let's go check it out here real quick. Let's check out our good old friend Boom, boom. Let's remove that. MetaMask. Boom. And where are you? These guys, I'm still dealing with the issues with them. Fire Chicken. Check out Fire Chicken and what it is doing. Boom. Diddy. I thought we had Fire Chicken up here. All right, let's check out Fire Chicken here real quick for the contract. Hey, Tom, can you do me a quick favor and send me Fire Chicken contract? That would be great. I would like that a lot. Boom. I'm still following this DDD one. It's still showing weakness here, so I'm looking for it to kind of, this is the defend oppose one that was priced off of what was actually happening with the shooter. And that's what our friend Carmen Crypto was talking about. She wants to talk about that on Full Ramp Friday. You can see here right now as I'm looking, because this potentially could be a sleeper here. I don't know what happens here, but this is something that I want to kind of play in on it. I have a friend of mine, the Common Sense Liberal, who is a bald white guy, who we spend time yelling at each other, cursing each other out on our political views, but we'll still go to share a beer and enjoy each other's company because he's a cool guy and I like him a lot. God rest his soul. Or not God rest his soul. God bless his soul. He's a good man. If he's watching today, Scoochie, I love you, baby. He's probably pissed. But yeah, I'm expecting to see this thing kind of come back down here. Now let's check out Fire Chicken here as we pull this up. Good old Fire Chicken. Here we go. Boom, pump, fun. GM, GN. Here we go. Dude, shocking that. Shout out to Larry who called Pump Fund being shot down in the UK and a few other major provinces around the world. Great job. That's Larry at hash AI or Larry Metatrust on Twitter. Shout out to him. Boom. Let's check this out here real quick on the daily chart. And is that okay? Is that going to happen? We're just going to do like this. Then GMGN. GMGNAI. Boom. There we go. Paste. Dr. Fire Chicken here. Let's see what's going on with this chart here. Looking hot to trot. Let's play. Yeah, man, you guys came down into this area showing some strength. Looking sexy AE. Looking sexy as ever. Boom. So look at this area here. Came in, started finding support. Came further than what I expected, but still, it got some volume coming in here. Some real volume as it was starting. It's not dev volume. This is real volume coming in. People's coming in, buying. They're starting to put a little support there. So let's check out the 4 hour here. Boom. Good little, didn't even blow through this area. You had, sure enough, resistance coming in, right? You saw it push through, resistance, push down, came in, blew right through this resistance. Now this should act as support for that 50 period. So I like this buy area. If I'm looking at this, this is looking nice. I like that 0418 to the 0417 area here with that 50 period moving average sitting here. Again, this is my personal area where I'll probably be looking to buy, right? And then potentially if it comes down lower, I'll pick up some more lower. But that's where I'm looking for it to see some legs kind of kick in and then potentially see it push up from there, potentially to all-time highs. Hopefully where you guys can get bonded and get out of our friend over here at GMGM/Pump Fund. So alrighty then, let's check that out here real quick. All right, Tom, listen, it is 2:30-ish area. I think it's about time we kind of call it quits here. We went over the ideas of trading. Oh, one last one. Let's check out a few of these meme coins that we were looking for us to come down to. We talked about cake here a while back ago as pulling up, but potentially coming back down to our monthly area of that $2 here to that $2 to 170 area. If it comes back down to this area, pick up a little bit because there's still a lot of people looking to pick this up. Also, I'd be looking for, I missed to not talk about my crow. Nice little area here. I like down at that 14 to the 13 cent area here, 14-ish, 13. We have that 50-period moving average. And if I could be so lucky as this thing sell off down to the 10-cent area where I could buy much more again at that level and pick up a little bit more for myself so we can trade the decentralized Crow network there. So awesome. Also, actually, I love HNT. So let's check out HNT. I know we're about to close this up here, but I start to look at all these guys and I'm like, ooh, kind of ADD moment there. HNT had a little bump today, which I thought was really interesting. I really only expected it coming down to here potentially, but HNT is one of those ones that I think holds a lot of value for the AI system and what they're trying to do on Solana and a few of these other. I mean, they're on the Solana phone, right? And additionally to that, they're trying to create their own ecosystem. And so from a not a meme coin standpoint, but from a utility standpoint, I think they're a good ecosystem. There was a lot of thought about them, but I just think it's a good technology that they're trying to do. So you can pick up some if it comes back down to that $5, $6 area here. And potentially, hopefully you guys were able to buy in as it came down to that $2, $3 market area when we pull back down here. We talked about that. And then this area right here, when we were still going long, or excuse not long, but the market had pulled back down, and I know some of us picked it up at $1.50 and $1.13 area on H&T. So nice little areas here that you can get in on, but I'm expecting potentially coming back down to that $5, and if I'm so lucky, down to that $4 area on H&T. All righty. You think that's about it, my friend, or you think we need to? Do they need to keep going? Tell me what to do, boss. I don't know. I don't care. You see Tom right there. We need to start learning sign language, or I actually know a little sign language so we can learn. If you learn, how much time do you think until she is finished, my friend? Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Or are we talking like an hour or two? 5 minutes? Yeah, 5 minutes. All right, cool. All right, then. So I can keep going and then we can close it up after 5 minutes because there's nothing like a closing when Tom's intact. When you see me closing, I'm like the awkward kid who's like, oh, bye, hello, later, bye, I love you. But we don't have that friendship where I can say I love you. So I'm like, that was weird. And then I go, my bad. And then that even makes it more weirder. So almost like the guy who great in the beginning, great in the middle, right? Just great. But when he goes to close, he's just like, how do I close this? What do I need to do? How do we close this? Especially when it comes to interacting with people. Like when it comes to the sale, I'm a hard closer. Let's get this done. Let's slap this up and get it done, right? But when it comes to interacting with people, I'm like, oh, you go in for the shake, and and then I see, oh, I think he wants to hug. So then I go to hug, and then you go for the shake, and then there's this awkward moment where you're like, what do I do? So that's how we close. It's funny. I grew, up in a lot of foster homes, and a lot of those foster homes went to a lot of churches, and so a lot of those churches were like very charismatic churches, and so the preacher would always say, oh, we're going to close now. But there'd be like 3 closes. So he'd be closing and he'd go off another tangent. And to conclude this in the service, he'd go on another tangent for 20 minutes. And so before you know it, like his close was like a 30-minute close. What I'm saying? If anybody who's in charismatic churches, I'll understand that. They'll be like, oh, that was for you for free. Anyways, so how about
Pedro, let's look at BNB.
All right, let's check out BNB. I like it. Now BNB was really pumping for a minute. Dude, this thing went all the way up to 795 and pulled back. So this was those area that I thought we were going to continue, like legitly continue. Right? I said get ready for a pullback and get in through it. But this thing did not. So if we're going to look where the pullback is going to be, most likely it's going to be at this level here. This is a weekly zone area here. So let's pull this up here and potentially, actually, it's about right here. Boom, as you see right here.
Post out there with me, but I can do it.
Yeah, it's just this is difficult because the way the system is working here, there's no supply wick on this. So I'd expect for it to pull back. If I was going to look at this, I would say around this 50 period moving average where we came down to is when we should see it continue up. So yeah, this would be a good area of buying if you're going to look, and this is where I would buy. So let's see what the intro time frames are doing. Are we putting in demand wicks? Not really. We're not putting in a lot of demand wicks here. So yeah, we should expect it to come down lower to this lower area, that 60, that 639 area to the 618 area, potentially as we come down. And are we pulling back to higher time frames? Yeah, we're just pulling back. You can see this 8 period moving average is holding strong. So we're just pulling back to continue down, or if not continue down, just consolidate here for a minute. Yeah, I would expect to see that. So BNB on a daily here, yeah, you could see consolidation here at that 638 area. It'd be one of those areas you could want to capture some more BNB if you're trading a lot of the meme coins on BNB. So yeah, it's in a nutshell. Alrighty then. Shiba Inu. We were gonna go over Shiba Inu. Now look, man, it blew right through my areas, and you guys know that I'm a pretty good picker on areas. So man, that shows a lot of weakness. That very much shows a lot of weakness in the area. Where is it potentially could go? There we are. I would say about right here. I would look for this. That 04 2305-ish areas. I like this area right here, potentially. And then if you could even go a little bit further, which would be the flip zone at 04 2170 to the 0419 area here before it continues with the next leg up. But again, there's not a lot of supply here. So the reality is it very much could push through, come down, tap right here for this next week, come back down a little bit further into next week, and then continue up into the Christmas or Santa Claus rally. Again, it's really important wash trading, right? I think more and more my brain is thinking about that. It's probably what's happening here is people are taking off crypto gains at a loss here and then trying to buy back in later as it sells off. I wonder if that's what's really happening here. The more and more I think about it. Cake is pancake swap, right? Yes. Yes, Mike. It's a pancake swap. One is finger licking good. There we go. Yep, for fire chicken. What's the difference between Bitcoin and fire chicken? As Mike says one is finger licking good. Baby Doge. All right, let's check out Baby Doge here for Cleob. All right, let's check out Baby Doge. Shout out to Baby Doge. Baby Doge. I want my baby back ribs. Chili's baby back ribs. All right, this wasn't the one that we had. Did we? I think I put that in here. Did we do Baby Doge in here? I know you sent me the, where was that, Tom? I think this was the baby chicken. Or Baby Doge, sorry. No, that was Nova Chain. Man, came right up into that level here. You guys gotta come in with more volume, man, on Nova Chain. You gotta get through that, man. Whatever it takes.
I'm on Baby Doge here. Which one did you get?
I'm looking at it and I can't find it. So I got something that was really weird. I don't think that was it. Like, and I know we marked it up, so I'm trying to see, like, maybe I picked the USDT. DYO, let's do this here. Baby Doge, here we go, US. Where's the biggest? USDT. Okay, we'll just do that right there. Boom. I think this is where the most boom. Let me see this here real quick. All right, so we talked about this yesterday. Yeah, so we talked about this area here coming back down to and potentially down to these mid-level area here. So if we were going to be going long, this is the areas that we were looking at, right? So that was this area here. Boom. So I like these areas here on Baby Doge again, coming back down to these lower levels of, I don't know how many, that's forever zeros, 41. It's going to be, I'm going to call that E zeros, forever zeros, E0, 41, 54 area to that E zeros, 400 area or a pullback area for your first initial. And most likely, we're probably going to see it come down and hit that E0, 24, 24 area to that 21, 20 area potentially. And this is where it'll pull back down to where it hits that monthly 8. So come back down and push back up. So these are a couple of areas for you guys to get in at so that you're not buying in at the peak up there, right? So you can pull back and make sure you have a good dollar cost average area here. So boom, that's it in a nutshell for Baby Doge. Oh yeah. I'm also want to check out our guys over there at Rumble. It's good to have all you guys there. Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate you guys, especially Fire Chicken over there who holds us down. Appreciate y'all. All right, so here we go. All right, I think that's about it. It's been more than 5 times. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna call this a show today. We've been on for 2.5 hours here, and my voice is starting to really go. So I'm trying to muster up some good old holding it down here. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. To all of our normal viewers, thank you so much. You guys rock the mic. We appreciate every one of you guys. We had a new person here, Easy Monies. Yeah. It's doing well. It's down now. All right. It's down now. Easy money is. Yep, yep. We had some good people come in today. We had Andrea over at our friend over at Kick, I believe. Yep, Kick. And then we had Cleo over here at YouTube shouting out. As normal, we got Kaching. We had Mike. We had Dr. J, Steve Rodriguez, que pasa, senor, even though he's from Canada. That's such an epic name, though. You got to admit, right? When you look at him. And then, in addition to that, we also had Carmen Crypto, Lucifer, the Fallen Angel, right? Was showing up again, making the markets drop over here. And that's pretty much it, I believe, Crypto Mike. And let me make sure. That's about it, Dr. J. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for our new viewer over at Cleob. You rock the mic. Please come back again. We love to talk and interact with a lot of our people. Just subscribe. Gotta subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for that time. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming in today. Many blessings. And we will see you tomorrow for Wednesday. And Wednesday is Wednesday whatever. So whatever you want to, we're going to be talking about news sources. We always talk about little news sources that are actually out there, but we kind of get into more. It's more of a news source / just crypto market frenzy. It's going to be fun. And then Thursday we do, what is Thursday? I forget what Thursday is. Miscellaneous Thursday? No, we'll do something else. And then Friday we do our good old amazing show that we call Full Rant Friday, where Miss Carmen Crypto was talking about coming in on spaces where you're able to go in and talk your talk and rant your rant. And so you come in and you just say what's ailing you in crypto, and we have fun while we're there. All right, guys, and you're having me. Is the music playing by chance? Head shake. No music.
We're all done.
All right, cool.
Later, people.
Later.